Hi, I'm Sonny, and I'm looking for a lady with a good sense of humor and a lot of style. I like fast cars and I like movies, and I like partying and staying out late at night. In fact, I guess you could say I'm just a fun-loving sort of a guy. But when I get home at night, I like being with a lady that I really like. That's important to me. Which reminds me, I live on a boat. I got a picture of it right here. Real nice boat. This here's my pet alligator, Elvis. Don't worry about him. He's friendly enough once you get to know him, or once he gets to know you. Well, let's see, what else? I don't smoke, but I don't really mind if someone else does. I keep in shape by playing racquetball when I get a chance, and making good money right now. And I live right here in good old Miami, Florida. So if you're looking for some fun in the sun, give me a call. Sonny Burnett. 5423. Freeze! Miami Vice!
In the city with neon glows, where the palm trees sway and the rhythm flows, there's a podcast that's breaking all the codes. It's the Vice of Miami. Here's the story it unloads.
Welcome to the Vice of Miami podcast. I'm your host, Tim, alongside my co-host, Mark, and we're thrilled to take you on a journey through the iconic 80s series, Miami Vice. Each week, we delve into the gripping world of Detectives Sonny Crockett and Rico Tubbs and the Vice team, reviewing every episode and uncovering the dark storylines, unforgettable guest stars, and the electrifying music that turned Miami Vice into a cult classic. From trivia and fun facts to the occasional goof, we're here to provide a fresh and engaging perspective, whether you're a longtime fan or new to the series. So sit back, relax, grab your favorite beverage, and join us as we explore Season 4, Episode 10, Love at First Sight.
And Tim, before I get into the written by, directed by, welcome back from your trip overseas. We hope you had fun.
It was beyond our expectations, Mark. It was great. What I'll say about Viking cruise lines, nobody does it better. They were top of the line.
All right. This episode's written by Peter McCobb, directed by Don Johnson. The original air date, January 15th, 1998. It's the 78th episode overall. And the plot, newlywed Caitlin fears she'll become a widow during Crockett's latest assignment, which is tracking down a video dating killer. Sonny begins to have doubts that this marriage is going to work, and he begins to realize it may interfere with his actual work. And getting into the guest stars and the ghost stars for this episode. First up, we've got Iman Mohammed. I'm not going to try it. It's Iman. She's a Somali supermodel and actress known by Iman, and she plays Lois Blythe. I'm not going to even try that last name. I don't want to butcher it. We covered Iman's bio in the episode Back in the World. Tim, hopefully you've got a normal name coming up here.
And I do, Mark. It's called Christopher McCann as FBI agent Sam Russell. McCann has appeared on the stage and appeared in several Broadway and off-Broadway plays, including Buried Child, Mad Force, and The Lights, for which McCann won an Obie Award in 1994. His filmography includes The Repair Shop, God's Pocket, and Chronic. TV appearances include Law & Order SVU, Boardwalk Empire, The Good Wife, Elementary, and Now and Again. Nothing was listed for his personal life.
Next up, we've got Annabelle Gurwitch. She's an American actress and hostess who appeared as the character Terry in this episode. She was born November 4th, 1961 in Mobile, Alabama, and she's best known as the original hostess of the TBS cult classic Dinner and a Movie. Her acting career began in the soap opera Guiding Light. Her film and TV appearances include Delivery Boys, Not Necessarily the News, love that show, China Beach, Life with Mikey, among several others. She's also an author of several books. Gurwitch married writer Jeff Kahn in 1996 until her 2019 divorce, and they got one son named Ezra.
Next up, we have Lara Piper, who made her TV debut as Tracy Mitchell, born May 27, 1969. Her only film appearance was Andy Colby's Incredible Adventure. TV appearances included Head of the Class, Key West, and The Courtyard, which was a TV movie. Piper retired from acting in 1998 to become a figurative sculptor. She was married to Gary Hall from 2001 until their 2011 divorce, and they have one son.
And we have returning Sheena Easton as Caitlin Davis, and we've previously covered her bio in the episodes.
Next up is Tukey Smith as Angie, and we covered Tukey's bio in Like a Hurricane, and she still plays Caitlin's assistant.
And finally, we've got Laura Lee Petty, born October 14th, 1963 in Chattanooga, Tennessee. She's an American actress, and she appeared as the video dating client Carol. Laurie's acting debut was in an episode of The Equalizer. Other TV show appearances include The Line, Head of the Class, Profiler, House MD, among others. Film appearances include Cadillac, Point Break, A League of Their Own, Free Willy, among others. And we couldn't really find much of her personal life online.
Our co-stars for this episode is Rick Callanan as Becker, Ronald Chanel as Raymond, Carl J. Cofield as Choo Choo, Stacy Hill and Laird Stewart as policeman, Jane Meyer as department manager, Greg Paul Myers as Duval, Steve Sonsky as the bartender, Seth Steiger as Ross, and Tyson Stevenson as Jay. Some Miami Vice in the news. Wikipedia notes that actress Lori Petty will be featured as Elise Poe in the movie Tonic, which is currently in post-production with no release date. She also has a recurring role as Dr. Lenore Friedman in NCIS Origins.
All right, Tim, what do you say we get back into the Vice goodness and start the discussion for Love at First Sight? We open with Sonny recording a videotape. Remember that back in the olden days, videotape? He's recording a videotape for a video dating service. Now, it's painfully obvious that he's doing this undercover. He explains who he is and what he is, and he also includes some pictures of St. Vitus Dance and Elvis. Then we have a montage of the dating place with Sonny giving the tape to the guy who runs the place. And then there's a back and forth between there and then a sundown singles apartment complex with police rushing to a room. And then there's a lady along with some Metro officers. They go to one of the rooms. One cop enters and he comes out and he starts dry heaving over the balcony. And Tim, I'm going to guess that Vice is going to be tasked with this for the obvious prostitution twist.
Yes, and I believe that's what they were doing anyway, because I think they were investigating prostitution as part of this video dating service. So,
right, so
yes.
It plays into it.
So now, somewhere unknown, we see someone, male or female, checking out the video dating book and tape. They are skimming through some profiles, and they rewind several times on a guy who split from his wife and is on his own now. Then we are at Crockett and Caitlin's house to a late waking Sonny. They are discussing his latest case of going after hookers on a video dating site. You know, who saw that coming?
Yeah, exactly.
Right, Mark?
Right. Exactly. Who saw that coming?
Even Kate retorts at a comment he made earlier that not all of them are hookers. After one bite of food, when you know it, Sonny has to run off and work as he's late.
Yep. You ever take a sip of coffee? I got to go, honey. Make sure dinner's on the stove when I get back. So now we're at OCB, and the dead man found by Metro was ID'd as Hugh Crowley, whose dad is president of Dade Savings. And they kind of described that his genitalia was cut off as part of the killing. Kind of weird. And he's a member of the same dating service that Crockett is, I don't want to say infiltrating, but he's setting up his profile. So obviously getting into seeing what's going on. So obviously they know what's up already. Castillo assigns Gina and Trudy here to check out the prostitutes in the area. Crockett and Tubbs are to question the pimps. And Switek's going to go get a warrant for the video dating club's files. That ought to be fun.
Give me the files. So Now, Gina goes to a club and speaks with Terry, who's a worker there. They talk about working at the club as well as walking the streets. Gina brings up video dating, and Terry says she isn't with her pimp, Choo Choo, since he cut her behind the neck. Choo Choo.
Terry, you hear anything about those video dating services?
Yeah, that's real hot right now.
Yeah? How's it work?
Huh, you just join the club, right? You pay your dues like everybody else. You lay down this little rap on the videotape with your alcohol number. My bell takes care of the rest.
And your man gets the same percentage?
I don't have no man.
Since when?
Since he cut me. Here.
What stable were you in, honey?
Choo-choos.
What are they coming up with these names, Jim?
I don't know. So Crockett and Tubbs find Choo Choo in an alley ruffling up some dude with a knife. The race is on as Crockett and Tubbs are running to catch a fleeing Choo Choo. They catch up with him and they take him in. Later, Switek and Tubbs go to the dating place and inquire about the tapes of the members. The clerk isn't willing to give them over until Tubbs shows him the warrant. Crockett calls in there for Tubbs and says they have another murder, I guess. Switek takes over getting the tapes, and Tubbs takes off to meet Crockett.
Now at the crime scene / murder scene along the shore, Crockett and Tubbs are scoping out the recently departed, and they figure out that he's another dating service member. Ding, ding, ding. They're just racking him up here. Sam Russell walks up. He's from the FBI, and he says it's a serial murderer. And he also gives information that there are other crimes in other cities just like this. Who would have thunk it, right? And again, somewhere, as earlier, someone's watching a tape of the next potential quote-unquote victim, and this person zeroes in once again on someone. And I'm going to guess that he's going to be the next one to kick the bucket. Just a hunch.
Just a guess.
At the FBI office, Crockett, Tubbs, and Russell are talking about whether he or she, who's been doing this, and what the sick perversion is with the other cases as well as the Miami cases here. And then this is when Tubbs says they all look like Crockett, and Russell springs on Crockett that he is their bait. Oops.
Obviously, the killer is sitting on a volcano of sexual anger. This is not atypical. But what makes this one different from most serials is that he's very methodical. Each of the killings has been planned with considerable forethought.
You say he.
He, she, I don't know, we don't know. What we do know is that he's using the video club to select his victims. Could be a woman, it could be a man.
This couldn't be some wacko ex-boyfriend following this woman around and then killing off her dates.
It could be. Or it could be some religious fanatic who doesn't like promiscuity.
You're a betting man?
I'm not. I deal in multiple profile analysis.
These guys all kind of look alike.
Well, it may be unconscious on the killer's part, but there is definitely a physical similarity. Not unlike you, Crockett. There's no question about it. You're our bait.
And I'm just going to say something real quick, Mark, is that Crockett was on to something about the jealousy factor. Just saying. Now back at Jude and Ward Burnett's house, Crockett and Caitlin's, he's in deep thought and not saying anything while Kate is unpacking trinkets. She's concerned about him and asks what's up. He doesn't want to worry her with the details, and she says they agreed to share feelings. He snaps, then you're interfering, and goes back to work. Crockett calls Tubbs and says he had a marital spat while Tubbs and Russell are going over tapes and profiles. Someone calls Russell, and now they have another murder. Crockett says he will meet them at the location. Back at the Kate Crockett house, Kate has her friend over, and they are Angie, and they are talking about Crockett and how worried she is. Her friend says, learn to deal with your feelings alone because Crockett is a cop and wants to shield her from any details.
She's not telling a lie, though. You knew what you were getting into, right?
Mm-hmm.
So now at the crime scene, Crockett here rolls up, and it's an ex-Tampa football player. One probably because of last night, but we're not going to mention that offside or false start call. But anyway, he made the tape over a year ago, so there's no distinguishable pattern onto the killer just yet. So now Back at OCB, Crockett's going over some of the files when someone named Carol calls Sonny. He picks up mid-message, and it's someone looking for a date. She tells him what she looks like and to meet her at I think it was the Foxy Roxy, they call it, in an hour. It's a bar, club, restaurant place. So he goes.
So now Crockett's sharing a drink with Carol at the Foxy Roxy. She's buttering him up. They have some quick, cheesy banter, and she invites him to her place. They go to her place, and he comes out of her room very scantily clad. She tells him to close his eyes as she has a surprise. He does. She sneaks up to him while he's peeking through his fingers. She has something behind her back, and she gets close. She pulls out a personal massage device, but he didn't see it as he smacks her down and pulls out his piece. Gun.
Personal massage device. Yeah. I guess if you're going to get assaulted, that's the way to go. I don't know. If you're dealing with those type of people. And yes, he pulls out his gun, not his piece. Anyway, keeping it G-rated. The next day at Kate and Crockett's house, they are talking about and laughing about the details about what happening to him. And didn't he just say that he wants to keep it quiet? He doesn't want to give details. But now he's talking about what happened to him. I guess he's getting into the details of what she pulled out, but confusing already. So he's ready to be soothed by this lady. Typical cop work, right? Then she starts talking about how being married to him, a cop, isn't what she expected. Crockett says that Switek's going to be by to put in another phone line so the dates can call Crockett at home to keep up with the flow of information and suspects. And then this pisses off Kate to no end. She didn't want, you want to keep it separate? Fine. Now you're bringing this in the house?
Mm-hmm.
So somewhere, again, this same person who's scoping out his next victim on tapes. And then I notice in this scene, there's smoke coming from a cigarette or a cigar. Someone smoked a cigar that we saw. But we'll leave it at that for now. And then they find their next chump.
Yes. It was after the second videotape that I had noticed that connection with that smoke that was emanating from below the screen of the television.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
At OCB, the Vice team is going over their duties again. Castillo signs Crockett and Switek the dating sheets, and Crockett looks surprised. Back at home, Crockett brings a box full of tapes to go over. Kate sees this and is seething. You can see the steam coming from her ears. They were supposed to go to a concert together.
Katie? I'm home.
What's in that?
Tapes and resumes from Video Dating Exclusive. Wanted, man or woman, must be psychologically unstable and able to handle a knife. So much for the concert.
There'll be other concerts.
Not good, Crockett. Not good.
Right. Nope. Both of them are now fireside eating Chinese food and are going over all of his work. She lays the charm on him when a date calls. Tracy will meet Crockett at Club New at 9:30. Kate is pissed. Again.
So, yeah, he brings home the phone, or the phone gets installed. He wants to keep it separate, and now he brings his work home. So now he smoothed it over. They're eating dinner, whatever they're doing, right? And now it's back to work.
Did you expect otherwise? They knew each other 2 whole days before they got married.
Exactly.
Just saying.
So now at Club New, Crockett here meets next date Tracy for dinner. They exchange small chat as she asks him to take her home. Crockett calls his business partner Tubbs and checks in. That's his ploy. I got to call my partner. Then the next victim we saw on the tape walks in. So previously we saw this smoking person checking out tapes. Well, this person walks into the club here. Crockett doesn't know this, and we're watching Crockett from the vantage point of, we assume, the killer, as she is having dinner with this next victim. We're assuming. Crockett leaves with Tracy, and she asks to see his boat and says that she's going to stop by tomorrow. She likes to surprise people, but what's so surprising about a set date? Anyway, 5 a.m. on the same, Crockett hears chugging some coffee, and he hears footsteps and gets his weapon. Why get your weapon? You know this chick's coming by, right? Maybe it's the coffee.
Little on edge.
So this, yeah, a little bit on edge. This person starts down the stairs, and Crockett grabs them and tosses them onto the bed, and it's the wife. It's Kate. She's asking what the heck the case has done to him, and rightfully so.
Next day, Crockett pulls up to the next crime scene. Tubbs says it's the same story. Crockett thinks the suspect is stepping up their pace. They determine the victim was the dude at the club knew where Crockett was the night before. We move to the killer now checking out Crockett on tape. Back at OCB, Sonny gets another dating call. He sets up the place and time this go round. Club knew 9 p.m. It's all set.
So now at OCB, the Vice team and Russell, they're going over Lois's profile, which is the next date, and she's the suspect now. Crockett says she doesn't look like a nutcase. Do they ever? At least on Miami Vice. Tubbs is at Club New with photos of Lois and the latest victim. The worker says, yeah, she was there, but I can't place the victim here. Now at Crockett's house, him and Kate are discussing this case. Again, you want to keep it separate earlier, and now you're discussing this case. Kate's worried that a cop would come by saying how good a cop Crockett was, meaning, death notice. He leaves for the date, and he's going to stay on the St. Vitus dance tonight. So Kate's got her spidey senses up that something good probably will not happen to Crockett. So we'll see.
That's right. So now Crockett meets Lois at Club New, and they are chit-chatting over dinner. They move on to her place for a nightcap and talk some more about her singing career. He noticed a picture of some dude, which she says is her brother. Crockett says they look awful lot alike. She excused herself, and this is when Crockett is off to do some snooping around. He finds a card for the video dating exclusive club. She returns and says it's getting late, and he agrees, and he leaves. She goes back in her room with a Letterman's jacket, turns off a light, and then turns it back on, and she takes a knife that was sitting behind a computer. She then has some sort of an episode like a migraine pain or something.
Yeah, that seemed just kind of weird. Kind of started freaking out. So now we're at Lois's place again. Later, Lois calls Crockett in distress as she doesn't know what's happening to her. Crockett says to calm down. He's still on St. Vitus dance. Tells her to calm down, chill out. She says she thinks her brother is killing people that she's been dating. She wants to get out of the shared place they live in. He tells her to get to the marina, come to the St. Vitus dance, and she says, okay.
Yeah.
Sonny, it's Lois. Please, please. You've got to help me. I didn't want to go. I don't know what's happening to me.
All right, just calm down now. Tell me what's wrong.
It's Daddy.
What? What is it?
I think my brother's been killing people. Men I go out with. He's jealous of them.
Stay right there, and I'll be right over.
No, I can't. I can't. I have to get out of here. I don't want to see him.
All right. Can you make your way over to the marina?
Yeah, I'll get there. Thanks, Sonny.
All right.
So on the St. Vitus dance, Lois is a complete wreck. Crockett pours her a shot of blackjack. She says she found newspaper clippings in her brother's room. She also says she knew it.
Is this a Jekyll and Hyde type thing going on here?
It appears. She says he was possessed of her as a child. She couldn't stop him. When he came to New York City to live with her, he said things would be different.
And Tim, I've got a question. If Crockett knew that she was in distress and then she thinks this is whatever of her brother, how come he didn't have the Vice team go there? If she said what she said on the phone, why didn't the Vice team come with?
Exactly. They would have been set up there, but makes for more suspense. I don't know. She says she's a mess and asked to use the bathroom.
And I see a Jekyll and Hyde moment coming here.
And Tubbs calls in to ask if Lois is there. Crockett starts right away about saying, put on an APB on her brother. Then the phone cuts out.
And here it comes.
Then the phone cuts back in. Tubbs yells, there is no brother. Then
Go ahead.
A sound of a knife. Oh, going
It's sound effect.
of a knife into Crockett's shoulder, a la Bushido.
Exactly.
Crockett manages to slither away backing into another room while Lois, now changed into clothes resembling a man, comes after him. Crockett manages to grab his gun and pops around into Lois.
Yeah.
Listen, Sonny, is Lois there?
Listen, Rico, we need to put a stake out on the Columbia Apartments and an APB on Danny Blythe. That's Lois's brother.
Hey, listen, Sonny, don't hang up, man. Sonny?
Rico, I can't hear you. Hello? Hello? Rico, come on. You're breaking up. I can't hear you. Rico. Rico. Hello?
Sonny? Sonny!
I can't hear. Rico. Rico.
Sonny! There is no brother! What? Sonny!
He busted off 3 rounds and dropped her like a bad habit.
I think they missed the mark here. They could have had Crockett do what Castillo did. He could have came up with something like, they missed it. So now back at Ozzy and Harriet's house, Crockett and Katie's house, a convalescing Crockett is brought some food by Kate at their home. She quips on saying not a bad way to get some days off. And then we hear on the radio in the background, her latest single moved up to number 5 on the charts. And she drops the bomb that she's got to go to LA to press the flesh to move some vinyl. And end episode. IMDb gives this a 7.4 out of 10. What do you say, sir?
I would give this a little bit higher rating than a 7.4. It had all the elements of a murder mystery that contained twists and mislead the viewer on who the killer might be. Carol, Tracy, FBI agent Sam Russell. The common element in each video the killer watches when picking the next victim was a smoke scene in the foreground of the TV. They show Russell with a cigar. Is he the killer? Eventually, we see cigarettes in an ashtray, which rules him out. What complicated this episode from the start was Sonny and Caitlin beginning to doubt whether or not this marriage was going to work, mainly because of Caitlin's worries that Sonny's life would always be at risk. Once Sonny realized he's bait for the killer, it gets in his head. He's beginning to realize that Caitlin's fears have merit. The real killer, Lois, gives Sonny a spin that her incestuous brother was jealous of her and knocked off all her dates in order to keep her for himself. In the end, we find out that Lois probably had a multiple personality disorder. The mystery element in my book is why this episode merits at least a 7.8.
I like this episode very much, Tim. As soon as I saw Crockett doing this shtick for video dating, I knew the team was going to be knee-deep in hookers or hookers leading to drugs or something like that. The story was fine, nothing stellar, but, not bad either, just predictable. And I was thinking just like you, along with Russell, the FBI guy, having the stogie in his mouth at the smoke. The perp was watching. I thought it would have been Russell until Lois, said her and her brother, Crockett said that Lois and her brother looked alike. I'm surprised Sonny didn't pick up on it, and very surprised, like I said, he didn't have the FBI and Vice team at St. Vitus dance once he convinced her to come over. And now onto the Kate and Sonny twist. I'm not familiar with the rest of that episode, so I'm going to go on a limb and say that this episode was the beginning of the end for those two. I don't know. She knew. Yeah. She knew what she was getting into, marrying a cop, and I'm likening this to Brenda in season 1, episode 20, Nobody Lives Forever. Remember, she was the hype hoity fashion or art lady.
Yes.
No woman's going to settle down with the cop, let alone Sonny, with the cop life on top of it. And in that episode, like Tubbs said when he came over, are you going to come around to the Vice team softball games and fit right in? No, you're just not his type. So, all in all, good one with all of Vice showing up, and kind of even Elvis, albeit in the picture form. I think he should have been on deck of the Save Vitus dance.
So now we're going to move on to the music for this episode. First up, we have Ball of Confusion by Love and the Rockets, which is being played at the bar with Gene and Terry and Crockett and Tubbs when they check out Choo Choo. Madness of It All by the Ward Brothers, Crockett, who when he was thinking in a car. Looking for Someone to Love by the Stray Cats at Foxy Boxers. Say It Over and Over Again by John Coltrane, Crockett when he had Crockett his date with Tracy. I Got You Babe by Sheena Easton over radio with Crockett and Caitlin at home.
And we've got some Jan Hammer music showing up Before the Storm. That's when Crockett and Caitlin are home after Lois is shot by Sonny. And let's get into Goof's facts and locations. First goof we have here, when Lois is first screening for her next potential victim, Mike Duvall, his number in the video dating book is 3257. But on the tape, he states his number is 5479. Get it right, guy.
And our first location is Club New, 245 22nd Street in Miami Beach. And that's where Gene and Terry are at the bar, Crockett meets Tracy and Lois, and the side street where Choo Choo is caught.
Choo Choo. Next location, South Point Tower Lobby, 400 South Point Drive in Miami Beach, and that's the Video Dating Club.
And final location is Boulevard Theater, 7770 Biscayne Boulevard in Miami, which was Foxy Boxers.
And let's get into the trivia that we skipped last episode. For the previous episode to that, we asked, according to the button Haskell was wearing on his suit jacket lapel, what year was Commissioner Vasquez running for mayor? And that was 1988.
And the trivia for this episode is, besides Dallas, according to FBI agent Russell, what other city did the killer strike in? You can post your answers on this episode's Facebook post, or you can email us at miamivice@duck.com.
And we've arrived at Mindful Music. We'd like to share a quick clip of a song that we think will send some peaceful, inspiring vibes your way. With this show, as well as our own lives, we may have many issues or stressful times that we encounter. With these song choices, we can hopefully quiet the mind and make those issues less of an obstacle for your day. And today, as we're recording this, it's Tuesday, November 5th, and that is the election day in the United States. And we all know how that is. We don't want to get political. We're not going to get political, but we know. If you know, you know, and we know. So take a listen to this clip, find this song, and just put all that out of your mind. Go vote. Vote your choice, vote your mind, vote your heart, and just move on. You still got work tomorrow. You still got a family tomorrow. You still got friends. Go out and have a good time, no matter who the head clown is of the circus. The song choice for this episode is Pirates and Parrots, which was a tribute to Jimmy Buffett by Zach Brown and Mac McAnally. Mac McAnally was always a good collaborator with Jimmy Buffett. So take a listen to Pirates and Parrots.
Another dollar on the wall, Another poet with a pen, another beach bum with a dog, another stranger sailing in, and the water's just as blue. No, you haven't missed a thing, but we're all here missing you. All the pirates and the parrots sing. So adios, my friend, anchor where that ocean ends. We'll pick up where you left off, strumming on a sailor song. We'll hold down this salty rock, where it's always 5 o'clock. When the sun goes down, we raise our drinks. All the pirates and the parrots sing.
Thanks to all of you for tuning into the Vice of Miami podcast. We hope you enjoyed our look into the world of Miami Vice. If you loved what you heard, please leave us a review on your favorite podcast platform. It really helps us out. Don't forget to follow us on social media for updates and more Miami Vice goodness. You can find us on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook at the Vice of Miami podcast. Our next episode will cover Season 4, Episode 11, Rock and a Hard Place. Until next time, stay stylish and keep the Vice alive. Now...
Could have fooled me, pal.